Hello, my friends, and welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Kate in the Nest. Yep, I'm back again, Sunday afternoon. So happy to be with you. I haven't stitched at all today because I've been working on my newsletter, which has just flown the nest. Lots of pickies, lots of stories, lots of exciting news. So it's not always about the newsletter, but just in case you wanted to know more and get the first info, you can always find it there. So you have to go to my website and subscribe, and there's some new workshops up there as well. Okay, so reward time for Kate is stitching, and I just thought I've got, as you know, I always have lots of projects on. So I thought I'd show you what I'm working on right now, and I want to do a mini make as well. So let's get into it. So current project is this nest that I began in Thailand. It's serving as a, they're really functional. I don't have to convince you. But it's a container as well as a project that I take around that's got pins. So if later I go, I can't find a pin or a needle, please yell out to me. So the nest is a current project, and she gathers little bits of fabric. So I'll put that over there. You saw this is part of the I want to hold me in your hands, which is based on my mum's zippered pouches, which I'm covering, and these works. It takes me a hard thing to say this. I have begun to sell my work. They are like my children. But Fleur has been a wonderful mentor for me. So some of these were left behind in new nests in New Zealand, and these next ones are for my trips, my workshops when I'm in the States. So this one is Lucello, India, and Cantha, which speaks for itself. So it's all about holding it in your hands. And I do love that when I travel, I can share that feeling. So lined with zippers. So that's one in progress. So this was Lucello. I bought that in Melbourne. So it just shows it takes a long time for these works. Oh gosh, there's a beautiful red rosella outside my window, which makes me pause, take a deep breath of gratitude, and to say I'm grateful for you to be here with me. And how are you doing? I've been on a roll because I've just been non-stop, you can hear, but I hope that brings you some joy. Haven't named her yet. On the same note, I started this one, and I like showing you that it doesn't all happen overnight. This is another of my mum's pouches lined with block print, and here I'm featuring a mix of vintage Indian sari. You see this little motif. I could have shown you flowers in vases, but she's out. I don't know where she is. Anyway, so that's just begun and not finished, and I've got some of Miss Rose Sister Violet flowers on here. So that's that. I've got my this is where we're going to start because that's hanging out there, and we know where a needle is. So let's stitch. This is the Nelson tote, which I've shared on, well, her very beginning, I think I showed you, with Our Lady in the middle. And gradually being covered and added to. So I must have been doing a weave here. It's a wonky weave as always. So can you see if this is going to be my warm-up stitch before we start a new piece. So it's a wonky weave, as I call it, because I can't, even if I count, the beautiful Kim in New Zealand, I sat beside it, and fact, I will take that one back out because that's gone too far. She was going up and down and up and down, and that's so beautiful stitching. Precision, pristine. See, even when I try and undo it, I realize I've got the wrong glasses on as well. But not to worry. Let's just pick this up and get stitching. So, what's the weather like where you are? We've got a, it's not as drizzly as it was yesterday, but it certainly feels like winter has arrived. That ring is driving me bonkers. I'll put it onto another finger. Go around here. And then let's go for somewhere new. So let's come out from underneath this flower and go on a little journey. Just to wander in the garden. But seeing that bird has just reminded me that I haven't actually gone out since I've been home to check on my favourite winter flowers, which is the Daphne. And I planted one from scratch, and gradually each year she's growing a bit more and producing a few more flowers. So it would be nice for me to check in on her after this. Maybe bring some inside. I love the smell, I love the look. And I know some people have huge tree, like they're like Daphne trees. A very special day because my husband said, why don't I take over the cooking and the shopping? I said, like to help because time is precious and I've got lots on my list to do. Aren't we blessed, if we happen to be lucky enough to be in a relationship where, we're supported by family, and I know not all of us have got partners and we have different, family situations, but I said, oh, well, if you do the cooking, I'll do the shopping. And he goes, face it, Kate, you've never really liked the shopping. We're talking about grocery shopping here, my friends. It's not, I love all the other parts of shopping. But so he's gone out for a swim right now. I've said I will film. And he said, do we need anything from Coles on the way home? And he said, I can just pop in. Now, for me, that would be a chore. But for him, he just likes it. And it made me recall that my mum, like when my dad was still able to shop, my mum would always be writing a list for Dad to go down to the shops each day. And similarly, my father-in-law does that for my mum-in-law. So, and he's about to turn 90, so 2 weeks' time we're having a big family celebration in the country. And that will be very special. So yeah. There we go. I wanted to say hello to Ruth, who's a very regular watcher and commenter and accepts that I don't write back to you, Ruth. But Ruth, thank you for your beautiful comment overnight. And I totally glad that you understand that, we can come on here and we don't have to leave the house. So it is a really, for those of us who maybe unable or a bit introvert or just burnt out, just to have days at home. And Colette, my friend, you messaged that you weren't well. So Colette of Davis Studios. We're sending you all our love and thoughts as well. Hopefully you're getting starting to get through it. And I'm thinking you might be on school holidays, and isn't that always the way, that you make it through a term, and when your body stops, sometimes that's when you get sick. So I don't know if that's what it is, but we're sending our thoughts to you. Okay, what have I done now? I've got, obviously, I've got a needle in my hand. I've got some orange, and we're just going to outline this Miss Rose Sister Violet fabric. I'm using it a lot at the moment. It's available online, and I just can't wait to play in Gabriella's studio, which is where we are holding our Adelaide workshops, which are coming up. I think I might be flying there in 2 weeks' time. And I'm going to go to Craft Alive on the Sunday afternoon and just hang and probably shop. We will see. So if you're in Adelaide and you go to things like that, pop in to Miss Rose Sister Violet's stall. Try on her beautiful clothes. I'll be there playing dress-ups, because every time I put something on of hers, I feel like a total lady. And you wear them every day. You don't save them. So while I've been talking, that's led me up to this little area. Up here. Oh, I can't. See, that's reality. I just cut I was trying to cut that other end, and I cut my current thread. I love this little, it's part of an Indian treasure braid that you can use them for all sorts of things. So this is the part of it, which leads me to just remind you that if you're interested in the bazaar, that took an exciting week ahead. On Wednesday, you'll see me doing the first of our collabs for the rest of the year. So we're starting with July jingles on Wednesday, 1 July. And on Friday, 3rd of July, I'm opening my bazaar. I like it feeling like it's a long weekend. So I open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then disappears for another couple of months. So I will be, sharing some treasures. That's what made me think of these. Not all Indian this time, different, always different. And part of that will be the some things that you could use in the next collab for August if you want to. So as I said before, I'm starting to think like a fashion designer. I have to be always ahead, especially as I'm going away for a while, calling to be super organized. So that's what we're going to move to when I finish this little thread here. A mini make. And so there's a little bit of plain material here. So I love just, like most of us, doing different stitches. But here, I'm just going to do some 3 large crosses. So 3 long bars, down and under, over and under, and look at that. See, there's Fleur de Paris, which was our background fabric. And this is why I rave on about it. But when you make pieces, it's so much to, you have a new project that's current, but every time you look at it, it brings back the memories. So definitely a storyteller in my stitching. That was Fleur's fringe. I've got some bits of that actually. That's what I've got. Yeah, okay. Just reminded me. So I don't like cutting a thread off. I just like using it till the end. So we've got some of this yellow, so let's go up and add some stitches. Still got some going. So let's just come along the top and reinforce. There we go. All right, mini make. Now, I told you before I went away that I made a little travel talisman, and we know that we all call them different things, but I always love the idea that I have textiles in my purse close to me, whether I use it to hold needles. I mean, I ended up, in my travel one, I ended up sticking pins and needles. And it's got very private memories in it, that one. So I thought I'd start another one. And we don't have to use these just for travel. They're just fun to make. And, if you're like me, I chop things up and reuse them on multiple projects. Okay, so here we go. This is, you can't say I'm making a cross or a keep because I can't. Even when I try to measure it out, it's not big enough. So this is what I want with this one. I want something that can fold in and up and over like a little purse, or it could go up like this and up like that and there, so that it's like one of those little children's, I don't know what you call them. I used to love them, where you'd move you put your fingers in the paper and move them around. You'd have numbers and they fold up. So that's what this is. And in a way, it's sort of less work than the cross-shaped ones. Not that I can make those, but just for today. Okay, so I've gathered some treasures. Something that I've used on the other ones, and I might get teary, is that I realise, you don't have time. I never had time as a mother of twins who had to work full time after just a short amount of maternity leave. It was pretty frantic. But even now, I remember how textiles means. So I made my boys by machine wraps out of tartan. And see, it's just by holding this, they are 26 years old now, but by holding this, I get teary, and they used these particular ones as their security. So this is one of my sons, the edge of his wrap that I still have, and I had to make multiples because they wore out. But I'm going to use some of that on here, because if I pop it in my case when I travel, it will be family. My mum, the giver of all things, I didn't show you these. Last visit, she gave me a pack of these little If you're new, my mum is just so gorgeous. I'm blessed. She's 94 years young, as I wrote in my article, well, as they asked me the question about who influenced me. She still stitches every day by machine, and she gets into, she likes doing the same thing over and over. So last time I was there in Sydney, before I went away, and I'm going up again this week, is she gave me a pack of these to share. And like, I didn't even go through and choose, but look, she said, like, how wonderful is she? They got little, you can hang things on them. So I will share them somehow at a workshop. I'm not sure, but I thought I'd put one of those, but I'm really liking that green one now. But I picked up this one to go in my little treasure talisman that Mail made. And like she apologized, she's wonky, but hey, who minds if I'm still able to be using a machine and threading a needle? Can you imagine at that age? So I thought one of those is actually the right size and could even go on the back. So I'm feeling my mum's love when I hold it. Depends. What else have I got? This is the little, I continue to use this. This is from the Green Door workshops. I didn't go to this workshop, but I saw the leftover sheet and I'm using it all over the place. So I thought I might use a little bit of that. I have, this was just on the floor, and I like the randomness of that's an American yo-yo. This is a bit of the embroidery of Magnolia Pearl, can you believe? And I won't tell you the story that goes behind this piece, but I had to do some alterations, and you know, I love just the softness of that. And I'm just going to make a little, so it's a scrap, but it's going to be on it. And I do have, I'm a firm believer in a circular economy, and I do actually have some pieces of Magnolia Pearl that I'm just not wearing because of the colours. I think my colour palette has evolved, so they're going to be in my bazaar. Now, background fabric. What do I want to use? I'm very, yeah, let's put, I think I'll stay. There we go. I think I'm a believer in sticking with what you first feel. So let's see if we can make all of these things work. Plus, this. I found this in New Zealand, and I thought that could be my the outside. I've got this one as well, which I love, but that's like a heart. Oh, and here is the pièce de résistance. This was part of it in a kit of fleurs, and I thought that could start us off. In fact, let's do that and get stitching. Originally I think it went that way, but I'm going to use it that way. So this is playtime. Gosh, that's a big sharp pin. I'll probably scream at some point. So if that was there, got some of that from Bangkok. That could actually cover that up there or go underneath. And I'll trim some of that. So that's sort of a flap. And as I said, I want it to be that whichever way you get this collage of different colours and fabrics. There's a natural crease there. Pins. Yeah, a little story already happening. What if this is so beautifully textural? So I sort of feel like I want to feel that in my hands. What about that? I'm using some blue, girls. Sort of like how this to me is like a sunshine, and see that stitching and that stitching goes together. Yummy. Okay, let's look at the back. I'm looking around. What have I got? This is another little bag that I brought back from New Zealand. The beautiful Kim had these, this braid that many of us ended up using. So how about, that's a bird, obviously, with a pink beak. That could go on somewhere. This is better. This is the Miss Rose. And speaking of that, it's got a rose. There's a little flower. So everything relates to each other. Did I show you that I've got some of those? Okay, back to business. That is the perfect length. So let's tear there. If we were looking from the back, yeah, we've got rose. Okay, I want more of the rose to show, so let's... I could actually flip it so that when we're coming up here, we have the rose looking like that. And on the back the right way. Yep, I think that's something. let's get a needle. Yes. Hello, Tracy. Thank you for my cupcake. Hello, Perth. There's some leftover. Oh, I don't really want to use purple. What colour am I going to use? Let's use this. I think I told you I was going to be wool dyeing today, but I didn't. I did my newsletter instead. Which means it probably should be tomorrow. So that I've got some new colours for you. Okay, let's get stitching. And because this is a whimsical piece, I'm not going to worry too much about invisibly stitching it. It's just come as you are type of piece. Every stitch I do is both adornment and practical. So we're going up here, I'll put pink on the green leaves, doesn't matter. And knowing me, that leaf might be covered up because this corner up here is a bit plain. Better just check I'm recording. Yeah, very out of practice. And my husband said to me, Kate, your last one was so long. I said, I think it was nearly a world record. It shows how much I'm enjoying being home. Okay. Let's sort of skedaddle over this yellow flower. We'll come back to her later and see if we can join this bit to this bit. There we are. And so this colour, almost by accident, can blend in with this cross stitch. And I'll come back and do crosses maybe at some point. But at the moment we're just getting the bits down. Now a little bit of the denim. I was reminded of how much I love denim. At various moments, but I've been looking at my early junk journals, and that's where I used my son's jeans on the first cover of the first journal I ever made. So I have heaps of denim. I adore it, but I haven't actually been using it in my slow stitching very much. But that's about to change as from this moment. So again, if you just need something small, like this size, whether it's a pouch or anything, a long pincushion, just have it in your purse. And I'm not going to finish it now, but I was just thinking I could take it on an appointment and just be quietly stitching away. All right, I am going to hold this needle for a minute. And look, we've got a fold up there. We've got the ideas for a fold in there. And we've got our, yes, the start of our fold over there with pretty back. And, well, you might say is, Kate, where is your mum going to go? So mum could probably now fit there with some treasures. So I'll pin that. I'll need some more bigger pieces in a minute. I can embellish once she's down like that. This one is actually, isn't it ironic that it could be the bridge between the denim to the pinks to the reds? Like I might trim that. I was liking that fold before, but let's just go raw edge. But can you see the complication? The purse is bigger than that fold. So, bump, bump, bump. Okay, so new home temporarily. See whether that lasts more than 5 minutes. Like that. This bird could be on something. Now I haven't used my son's bit yet. So do I want more pockets? I've got special things can go in there. A bit of garden maybe? Or maybe the garden can be on the outside to link. Right, I need something in here, my friends. I'm just standing up to look at the design for the first time. I always encourage people to do this. Yep. 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 Oh, I nearly picked up something that she was on the actual Nelson tote. I've got a big print out here. I am thinking more blocky print on the inside. This is one of my Ruby Raras. How about just now, just to make it easier. Now I realise I've got the block print upside down. Doesn't matter. Let's put that there. Isn't it quite badly clashing? It might be. It's, you know, most things I can make work, but maybe that's too far. Mind you, if I put this on here, I think it might have to be that one, Mum. All the colours of the rainbow, yep. So that way, this is like a little bit of India hotness in here, isn't it? Especially with my little flower. I'll have to cover that button somehow, but yeah, let's think about that. We may as well trim. Okay, where's that needle? Let's pick up again. Just realised I've stopped talking. That gives you a break. That shows how much fun this is. Just totally free, no pattern. That's what I was thinking about. Isn't it great just to have to not worry about what it's going to look like at the end? Oh, cute. What a little bundle of yumminess. She's going to go in like that. I'm going to embellish and embroider. This one could be a little bit too big size-wise, but you know, I like the idea of texture on the back. And I've still got bird, and I brought that other sari over. I've got lots of little treasures. And there is my son's. Honey, where are you? I kind of lost him. Oh, here he is. Oh, in fact, there we go. Just to finish us off well. Might even bring that block print up like that. Let's put that there. That's why nothing is put down at this point. I was worrying about cutting this, so I could even have that like that. Bundle it up like I used to bundle him up. My precious. I talked to both my sons last night. Yeah, it was just lovely. And as I said, we've got some family times coming up. So there's a little bundle, and I want to have my heart on it too. So there we go. Look at that little sweet thing. Didn't take long. So my encouragement is just play, girls. Just get yummy things out. If you haven't got yummy things, I'm sure your friends do, and just swap or just ask the little yummies. See, my asymmetrical sense wants that to go there, but not all the way up the side. So we're designing. So artist and designer. Okay, I hope you have time to go and play as well. Thank you for joining me. I so love your company. I really appreciate it. Please take care of you. And I'll see you later in the week. In fact, I'll see you with the launch of our July jingles and other things. It's a big week in the nest. So thank you so much for beginning it with me. Bye for now.